Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games, where we feed our people with relatable content, and our victory condition is your satisfaction. I'm Harry, and today we have another episode of my board game collection, Shelf by Shelf. And today I'll be covering shelf number 8. So let's get straight to it. Let me show you my 8th shelf right here. And here we go. We've got right here on the outside, we have A Castle for All Seasons. This is a game designed by Inca and Marcus Brand, published by Rio Grande Games. I feel like this game is almost like a response to the Pillars of the Earth board game and its popularity. It's very similar. In this game, players are building not a cathedral, but a castle for all seasons. And you're acquiring different resources, and you're doing a little bit of worker placement in order to score points, right? And you have all these different character cards that you're using. You have the stonemason, and you have the master builder, and you have the bricklayer, and all these different guys that basically give you different abilities. Now, it does play a little bit differently mechanically. It does have a beautiful board by Michael Menzel, just like Pillars of the Earth does, right? So it's just gorgeous artwork. But here in this game, you have a little bit of variable phase order, where players are using simultaneous action selection in order to place these cards face down with the different character cards, the different role cards, and then they reveal them simultaneously, and there's a sequence. Each card has a different number within the sequence, 1 through 6, I believe. And players carry out their actions in the order of the sequence, and the starting player gets priority if there's ever a tie. And all these different character cards allow you to do different things. They allow you to get money, which is very important in this game, because the worker placement in this game, you actually have to pay for your spots. So you cannot afford your spots with money. You can't even go to a spot just because you want to go there or just because it's unoccupied. So managing your money is important, and the messenger is one of the few ways that you could get money in this game. You also have your different other characters, characters that let you acquire resources. You have a bunch of different workers that allow you to acquire different resources. And there's 5 different resources in this game. You have wood, you have clay, you have straw, I believe, you have stone, and finally you have silver, which functions as a wild card. And the problem with the workers are that the stonemason's action gets triggered first. So the other player chose a stonemason. The stonemason gets to purchase one of your resources, which really means they just get to take it against your own will. So you're thinking you're going to get 3 resources because you're a worker, but you're really only going to get 2 because the opponent plays a stonemason. So this game is definitely like most variable phase order, simultaneous action selection type of games. You definitely have to speculate and anticipate your opponent's decisions, and whoever could do that better will often win. There's a lot of moving pieces in this game. I still prefer Pillars of the Earth, but this is a cool alternative for Pillars of the Earth. And if you enjoy that kind of game, then this might be worth considering. So that is A Castle for All Seasons. So let's move back here and see what we have. So from left to right, we have Airlines Europe, designed by Alan Moon, published by Rio Grande Games. This is kind of like, well, Alan Moon has been working on this game design for a long time. It started with a game called Airlines, then it progressed to a game called Union Pacific, and finally it's culminated in games like Ticket to Ride and Airlines Europe, which are basically route building games. But Airlines Europe also has an additional stock market mechanism that's not found in Ticket to Ride. Now, even though this game is a little bit meatier, and usually I prefer meatier games, I actually still prefer Ticket to Ride to it. But this is a great alternative for when you want to do some math and you want to do some stock market manipulation and commodity speculation and that type of thing. And when you're in the mood to crunch some numbers, but it's still relatively light. It's don't get me wrong, it's heavier than Ticket to Ride, but it's not a heavy game by any means. But it's fun. The European map and the placing the nice little shaped plastic airplanes on the different locations, on the different routes. Really, really cool game, Airlines Europe. Then we have Cuba, which I've mentioned a lot on this channel. This is designed by Michael Renek and Stefan Stadler, published by Rio Grande Games. So this is the 3rd Rio Grande game on this row. So apparently I have a lot of these. This is a fun game. Again, variable phase order, just like A Castle for All Seasons. There's a little bit of worker placement, although it's not designated as such, where you're manipulating your worker and moving him along your hacienda grid, and wherever you place him, he activates those abilities, or if you place the foreman, those buildings that intersect with the spot that they're placed on. So that part is cool. There's a resource market with some supply and demand, which is really, really neat. Figuring that out and managing that is neat. You got a bunch of resources you're trying to collect and ship to the motherland, and you see all the ships. There's always 3 ships at harbor and 1 that's coming to sea, and you know what their supply and demand are, right? What resources they need, and based on which ship you send goods to, you score a certain amount of points for, right? Some ships give you more points than others. Factoring all these things in, there's a little bit of a political aspect where at the end of the round, your unplayed card, because you have 5 character cards that will be played during the variable phase order part of the round. The one unplayed card, you're only going to play 4 out of the 5. The one unplayed card has a certain amount of votes that they contribute to Parliament. And whoever has the most votes at the end of the round, combined with whatever coin they're willing to secretly bid to add to their votes, to add to their pull in Congress or in politics, right? Whoever has the most votes gets to pass 2 out of 4 potential bills, pass them into laws, and these laws manipulate the way that different players score points. So, of course, a player would choose the laws that are in their favor, or at least the ones that are least detrimental to them. So that is Cuba. Then we have Katan, and here you see the Cities and Knights box, but this is where I keep my Katan combined with my Cities and Knights expansion. Katan, a game I've been playing for many, many years. It's been almost 10 years since the first time I played Katan. It's a fun game. I still keep it in my collection. It's gone down significantly as far as my esteem for it is concerned. I'm not really too big of a fan of Cities and Knights. I actually bought it with the hope that it would spice it up a little and revive my love for Katan, but it hasn't really worked to that extent. And I'm not going to talk much more about it, because if you don't know about Katan, I don't even know why you're watching this video. And then finally we have Robinson Crusoe, designed by Ignacy Trzewiczek, published by Portal Games. This game is a phenomenal cooperative game where players partake in different scenarios, all kind of consisting of being stranded in an island of some sorts. And players are working to gather resources, to gather food, and to accomplish whatever the scenario-specific objectives might be. This game has lots of cool narrative-driven gameplay. You have events that are triggered at every round. You have different consequences that happen when you fail at different actions. Things that may not seem detrimental immediately, but long-term, they come back to haunt you. There's a little bit of worker placement, but yes, this is a cooperative game, so you don't have to worry about players blocking your spots. Basically, players have to get on the same page and decide where they're going to place their workers. But certain actions have guaranteed benefits if you place 2 workers on them, and they have risky dice rolling benefits if you only place 1 worker on them. And figuring that out and manipulating all that is really cool. Each player also has a special character that gives them special abilities and differentiates them from the other players in the game. Phenomenal cooperative game. Really, really hard to beat. But when you do win, it's very satisfying. And that's it, folks. That is my shelf number 8. Thank you so much for joining us here for my board game collection, shelf by shelf. Thank you so much for joining us here at When Harry Met Board Games. This is Harry saying take care, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun gaming. Bye-bye.